I'm a true Montana boy, and I grew up on spending the weekends, whether it was the winter or the summer, on a bicycle or a motorcycle, or fishing or hunting, skiing, snowmobiling. My family would spend time with all three generations outdoors on national forest lands and in public lands. At one point, a snowmobile trail was shut down, and my grandfather, who was actively involved in snowmobile clubs to try and help the Forest Service keep those lands environmentally clean and assist with any impacts that would occur, it told me that trails have been closing down throughout the last 4 generations, and my father has some of his favorite trails that have been closed over the years that I didn't get to experience, and by the time I have children, maybe that will be the case. I've just never been someone who's willing to sit and let a solution not be made. The only thing I knew that was related to law or government or policy whatsoever is campaign signs. I was only 10 years old, so I went to an office and asked the volunteer that was at the head office if she would fix my snowmobile trail. And obviously that was not something she was able to do, but she was able to get me actively involved in a bona fide interest in government and public policy and how the law operates. And through this process, after going through debate in high school, actively involved on campus, being involved in campaign politics and in congressional policy at the national and state level, when I eventually had a position in government affairs and lobbying at the state capitol, I realized that being the disseminator of this information was no longer something that I wanted to do, but this bona fide interest in working with the law, helping to create the law, and being able to utilize clientele to adjust public policy while also being involved in litigation and being an advocate for organizations. When I made the decision that I really was interested in law, I decided to come back, and I enrolled at the University of Montana to obtain my master's in public administration, and was able to enroll in 9 law classes. In that experience, I've been able to have oral advocacy and oral arguments, and brief write-offs, different debates in class, as well as be the only student that's not a law student in the classroom, where I had to have a strong work ethic and apply that, be willing to work those long hours. I've been able to simplify and find those solutions of how to brief cases and be ready for Socratic method teaching. And the aspect of me coming to the classroom already knowing how to think like a lawyer instead of having to learn how to be a law student, I'm able to be a law student that gets to learn the law to be a great lawyer. In my public lands class, I was coincidentally assigned snowmobiles, where I went full circle and went back to the original issue that sparked my interest at such a young age. And at that time is when I started looking at the Midwest to go to school, because of the fact that the leading organizations nationally that help local organizations and local clubs throughout the United States are all headquartered right there in Lansing, Michigan. I'd be able to have a direct impact in the public policy creation, as well as the entrepreneurs and technological innovations in a booming industry that is about to take a full new circle change in snowmobiling. When it comes to a career, I wanted to work in something that is, a technologically advanced entrepreneurial environment. I grew up in a small business family, a Main Street business family. I like being involved in people that have great minds, great ideas, but want to work on their specialty. And I've always found that there's, somewhat of a barrier in between, a need for a council or representative to be able to get these great thinkers, these great idea people to market because of the amount of barriers. I wanted a way to help those people, the ones that work 80 hours a week but never miss their son's football games. When I started working with public land law, I got an interest in the aspect of private property rights with individual owners and the wide variety of issues that covers. So being at Michigan State, I'm able to work with these associations where I do government advocacy, but I'm also able to work with individual clients who come to the association for help. And at the same time, the manufacturers that are all in the area that are looking to reduce the amount of impacts on the public lands that we're litigating over, whether that be environmentally related, whether that be access related, the changes that are going on in the field. Snowmobile is something that are innovating to try to make the world a better place while also be able to be a good steward of the land. And we just love enjoying the outdoors, and that's something that I want to be able to protect for my kids and my grandkids as well.
Good boy.